Hello and welcome to the news from Bahrain International with me, Keith Johnston. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa ratified and issued Law 4 of 2023, endorsing the Charter of the International Dates Council, following its approval by the Shura and Representatives Councils. The Royal Guard of the Bahrain Defence Force, the BDF, participated in the activities of the Joint Security Exercise, Harris, which is implemented by the Saudi Royal Guard in Riyadh. The joint exercise is part of the continuous cooperation between the BDF's Royal Guard and the Saudi Royal Guard. The exercise is supervised by the National Security Advisor, Secretary General of the Supreme Defence Council, Royal Guard Commander, Lieutenant General His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and the Chief of Saudi Royal Guard Command, General Suhail Al-Matari. The security exercise aims to enhance cooperation and exchange of military and security expertise between both countries, and raise the efficiency of the participants in security tasks, personalities protection, weapons, shooting and special operations. The joint exercise is the first of its kind between two sectors, and it affirms bilateral relations between Bahrain and Saudi Arabia as a model of unity, which reflects the depth of historical and fraternal ties. The Council of Representatives held its weekly session, chaired by its Speaker Ahmed Al-Musalem. The Council approved a draft law ratifying an agreement between the governments of Bahrain and Turkmenistan on air services. The Council also approved a proposal amending a number of provisions of Decree Law 20 of 2002 on the regulation of fishing and the exploitation and protection of marine wealth. The Vice President of the Supreme Council for the Environment and Deputy Chairman of the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, the REHC, High Committee, His Highness Sheikh Faisal bin Rashid Al Khalifa, visited the new stables project at the REHC in the presence of the Minister of Works, Engineer Ibrahim Al-Hawaj, and a number of officials. His Highness Sheikh Faisal viewed the project's establishments and service facilities, which are built according to modern specifications, to provide various services to house horses in a suitable environment. On the occasion, His Highness Sheikh Faisal expressed thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for his support to the equestrian and horse racing sports, noting the support and follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister on the development of the sports sector. His Highness stated that the new stables project came as a result of the interest of the REHC High Committee, led by His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, to utilise the best potentialities for owners and trainers participating in horse races, to accommodate the horses in an ideal environment. He affirmed keenness on facilitating their activities and supporting the efforts towards enriching the horse racing sport. He highlighted the efforts of the Ministry of Works in implementing development projects at the REHC. For his part, the Minister of Works asserted that the project comes in line with the Ministry's efforts and cooperation with various ministries and government institutions, noting that the project will create a quantum leap in the field of facility development. The Bahraini delegation, led by the Minister of Labour, Jamil Humidan, participated in the 49th session of the Arab Labour Conference, organised by the Arab Labour Organisation of the Arab League. The Minister stressed that Bahrain had paid great interest to enhancing partnership among the three production parties, under the leadership of His Majesty the King, and with the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Humidan noted that Bahrain's successful experience in providing assistance to preserve workers' rights by implementing health, financial and social initiatives that contributed to stabilising the labour market and keeping the unemployment rate at safe levels, as well as protecting the productive workforce. He stressed that the government will continue to conduct a periodic review of labour initiatives and legislation to stay aligned with the International Labour Organisation standards. In the presence of the Minister of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Waqf, Nawaf bin Mohammed Al Muada, Bahrain hosted the first meeting of the Permanent Committee for Islamic Christian Dialogue, between the Council of Muslim Elders and the Vatican, which is one of the outputs of the Bahrain Forum for Dialogue, East and West for Human Coexistence, held in Bahrain last November. More in this report.
The Kingdom of Bahrain is hosting the first meeting of the Muslim-Christian Dialogue Permanent Committee between the Council of Muslim Elders and the Vatican. The meeting discussed ways to achieve lasting peace and a peaceful coexistence through dialogue aimed at establishing a global humanitarian system that promotes justice, freedom, and equality.
We have to recognize that the historical meeting between the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, Dr. Ahmad al-Tayyib, and His Holiness Pope Francis of the Vatican has been a moment where, thanks to this initiative taken in the Emirates in Abu Dhabi, gave the occasion to the Pope and the Grand Imam to present to the world this declaration on human fraternity, this document that has been really very effective, had a very deep impact at all levels, because it is not a religious document. It is done by religious, but seeking on how to help and support human fraternity.
The meeting is a reflection of the historic visit that came under the royal patronage of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, of His Holiness Pope Francis, and the Chairman of the Muslim Council of Elders and Grand Imam of Al-Azhar Al-Sharif, Dr. Ahmad al-Tayyib.
This meeting is very important. This committee is the result of the visit of the Pope in the region and the understanding between Sheikh Al-Azhar and the Pope. And so we continue to promote peace, tolerance, understanding between Christianity and Islam. And this committee is giving some orientation, guidelines, going deeply in the document promoted at different levels. So it's not only to congratulate each other, it's also to see what we can do concretely in our life and in our different countries.
The meeting also aims to coordinate joint efforts and initiatives to promote dialogue and coexistence among followers of different religions and cultures around the world. The Kingdom of Bahrain safeguards the rights of all and calls for establishing a global base for developing ideas that are characterized by justice, freedom, and human rights.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Jalila Hassan, attended the 59th session of the Council of Arab League Health Ministers and its Executive Board, held at the UN headquarters in Geneva. Dr. Hassan expressed pride in Bahrain's hosting the Arab-German Conference, an exhibition for pharmaceutical industries and medical supplies, next December, wishing the forum success, which is considered the first of its kind in the region. During the session, the Arab Strategy for a Health-Friendly Budget was launched, providing a key reference for Arab countries to develop health budgets that are more responsive and flexible to the needs of their populations. The first round-table session, organised by the Sustainability Forum Middle East, began under the auspices of the Supreme Council for the Environment, in cooperation with Finemark Communications, Infracorp and the Voluntary Carbon Market for the Middle East and North Africa. A group of climate, finance and sustainability pioneers in Bahrain participated in the forum to discuss the role of private sectors in financing and accelerating access to zero carbon neutrality. The speakers in the session discussed the means to help countries in the region build a better understanding of carbon markets regionally and internationally, while providing a fertile ground for views and visuals on practices and potential benefits that can be harnessed as part of the redoubled efforts to support, finance and accelerate carbon neutrality in the Middle East and North Africa. The official visit of the Bahraini economic delegation and Export Bahrain to Japan and South Korea witnessed the conclusion of an important industrial deal, in addition to paving the way for further industrial cooperation with a number of companies in the two countries to achieve the objectives of the visit of consolidating investment and economic harmonisation. The Bahraini economic delegation was headed by the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Abdullah Fakhro, in the presence of the Minister of Sustainable Development, Noura Khalif, and a number of officials and businessmen from various economic sectors. During the visit, a trade agreement worth over $2 million and extending over a period of 3 years was signed. The agreement is a culmination of the proactive efforts and negotiations undertaken by Export Bahrain, with a number of key entities during a wide range of commercial opportunities for Bahraini institutions and companies from various sectors were explored. The Labour Fund Tamkeen announced the results of the first quarter of 2023, which showed a remarkable development in the strategic priorities that were announced earlier this year. A symposium on awareness of genetic disorders, coping and prevention methods has concluded, organised by the Bahrain Centre for Strategic International and Energy Studies at Dirasat in cooperation with the American Mission Hospital, with the participation of a group of experts and specialists. Chief Physician and CEO of the American Mission Hospital, Dr. George Sherian, stressed the importance of cooperation between the medical sector and the research community to determine the best ways to promote public health. For his part, Executive Director of Dirasat, Dr. Hamid Al-Abdullah, stressed the centre's keenness to integrate its efforts with the various health sectors to deal with all challenges and expressed hope that this symposium will shed light on vital issues of interest to society and serve to progress and prosperity.